Chris Ockley, Missouri track fanatic and running junkie with Courtney Frerichs, the graduate student of the graduate of Nixa High School and UMKC, and the grad just finished her 5th year eligibility at New Mexico. And Courtney, what's it sound like? Courtney Frerichs, NCAA champion and collegiate record holder. How does that sound to you?
Oh, pretty good. It sounds pretty nice.
It's been 6 days since you won the national title at the Division I championships and set the collegiate record in the steeplechase. Has it sunk in yet that it's real, that you're a national champion and the best collegiate steepler ever?
A little more now, yeah. It's getting there. This whole year has just been so surreal. So I still catch myself just like wondering if all this has actually happened. But since I've gotten back to Albuquerque, I've had time to kind of go through everything and be excited about it and stuff. So.
Right. Well, obviously, you in the fall you took 4th at NCAA Cross and led your team to the national team title after your runner-up finish to Colleen Quigley last year at NCAAs in the steeple. After Cross, you run a really fast 5Ks indoors at Boston unattached, and then didn't have any eligibility indoors. So tell me what happened those next couple months before you raced again in April.
Well, I took a nice break after the Boston race. In preparation kind of for this season. I knew I wanted to go try, race further into the summer this year. And really just put in a really solid base. I did a 12-week build and didn't really start working out until March. I started some tempo efforts, and then April we started some more specific track work. But we had decided last summer that I wasn't going to race indoors at all, other than the December meet was kind of a last-minute decision because I was feeling pretty confident with my fitness and kind of wanted to see where I was at for a 5. So it's kind of like last minute. But yeah, it was a little difficult, like the indoor season, kind of putting the blinders on and not racing, because when you see all the amazing things everyone was doing during the indoor season, it makes you want to get out there and do it too. But I reminded myself what the goal was and why I was holding off racing, so that I would be fresh for now. Right.
Did you actually have eligibility?
No, I didn't.
Okay.
So
yeah.
that made the decision easier too. I ran all 4 indoor seasons at UMKC.
Right.
So we had decided, a couple of years ago that I would not redshirt indoor. If there's an opportunity for an NCAA meet, you want to be there, but that takes a lot of preparation and a lot of work. And last year was really exciting to get to that meet, but having to be, in pretty peak fitness in March kind of took a toll on me later in the season, kind of at USAs and stuff. So I think it was the right decision, and we kind of toyed around with the idea of running at USA indoors because I could run the 3, but I didn't have I hadn't run a 3K yet this year, so I didn't have I couldn't make the world team even if I would have placed top 2, and so I decided just to hold off.
Yeah. Well, you were obviously the favorite for the steeple after being runner-up last year. At what point did Jenny Behringer Simpson's collegiate record come into thought, and when did that become a goal for you?
We've kind of talked about it since last year, really. Whenever I ran that 9:32 at Payton Jordan, I knew just as a whole, the talent that was in the NCAA, that there was a possibility there could be a race that the NCAA could go that fast last year. So it had been something we kind of set our eyes on for a little bit, and then when I got second last year, I was obviously really excited and really, really happy for Colleen and stuff, but that was kind of when I decided I for sure wanted to run my 5th year, and I kind of had obviously a list of goals. To win this year was obviously the first goal, but the record was a close second because I knew with how much progress I made last year that another year I should be able to get close to it. And then I guess I did a workout this year, and I averaged the same pace for it as I did last year, but it was at altitude this time. So I think we knew I was pretty fit, and we were like trying to figure out where to run for the steeple, because if you're in the NCAA still, it's kind of hard to find a fast steeple, because obviously, running it pre would have been amazing, but it's same day as regional, so you can't really do it. And so we did briefly think about trying to do one of the early season diamond leagues, but I was afraid the travel was going to be too much, and I didn't want to take a toll on my training and getting prepared for NCAAs and the trials. So we opted to run Payton Jordan, and I think when I ran the 9:29 there, it was just surprising because I knew it wasn't up until I kind of took off at 800. I knew it really hadn't been a sub 9:30 race. And so that gave me a lot of confidence that with a little more work, I thought I could run something faster. So I knew going into the final that I had a chance to put it all together, but it was going to be hard. But
right,
yeah, I kind of surprised myself, I think, a little too.
Yeah, but even when you ran the 9:29 at Payton Jordan, even though it was early in the season, but still, that's got to be kind of cool to run the fastest time in the world, I guess.
Yeah, it was really neat, and it was a really good surprise. I mean, I just had zero expectation. It was my first steeple. It was only my second race in 4 months, and it was a really positive start to the season. It got me excited about the potential that the season could have.
And I would have to think that 4x workout that you did over the hurdles, a year. Doing it the same time that you did a year ago, but at 5,500 feet at altitude, boy, that had to give you a lot of confidence.
It did, yeah. That's one of the that workout is one that if I can just nail it, if I can hit it, I have confidence that I can run something fast. So it's kind of last year, it was a little out there for me to think that I could get close to that 9:30 barrier, but because of that workout, I knew that I was there, and replicating that workout, but at altitude, gave me the confidence. But I wasn't just there. Again, I was ahead of it.
Right.
So I was happy about that.
Yeah. So you opened the season with a 4:18, 1,500 Bryant Clay meet. You run the 9:29 at Payton Jordan. The conference, you run the 1,500. After not racing January, February, March, you go to West prelims and qualify there and win there. You get to tell me about what the mindset going into nationals was. Just focus on winning and trying to break that record, I guess.
Definitely focusing on winning. That was the first and most important goal. I didn't want to do something stupid, I also just, I knew that there was still a lot of talented girls in the field, and people always show up, at NCAA. So I wanted to focus on winning first off, but also, I took the prelim, as easy as possible, just to try and stay safe and to try and feel good, for the final. To also run fast, because we most importantly, in the race, regardless of how the first 2 Ks went, we wanted that last K to be pushed hard and in kind of preparation for the trials, so that I would have been in a race that I was pushed, or I pushed myself at least, before I got to hopefully the final at the trials, where that last K is going to determine a lot.
Right. And it's funny looking back at, previously when, slow and steady pace that, smart pace that puts you 6th, in 2019 2013, and then start out your career running smart, steady pace races, and now, in the final you take off and you're pushing the whole way and out from the start, putting down 75, 74, 77s, and then just take me through that last couple laps of the race and how it played out.
Yeah, so it's actually going out in front like that, obviously, like I said, isn't typically my style, but I knew that I wanted to stay safe, and that I didn't want it to be a slow race. So it was definitely like a little unfamiliar for me to be out front, but I knew that I could be there, and I guess like when we got to about a mile, Jessica started to fall off a little bit, and I was like, she was pushing me. Like the fact that she went with me pushed me pretty hard, and I thought she ran great. But I would say like a K to go, I started to realize that I was faster than I was at Payton Jordan. I hadn't really been paying close attention to the clock before then, because Hayward's a little bit harder than Stanford as far as to see where you're at, because the water jumps a little bit further in, and so you start back a little bit further. But I kind of looked up and I was like, oh, you're a little bit faster. But in my head I was kind of like, okay, it's probably going to be like 27 or so. I just didn't know. And from that point on, Coach Butler had been yelling at me that to try and push the pace if I could, because I was going to run a fast time, and I got the 500 to go, and he yelled out that the record was within reach. And I knew he wouldn't lie to me. He wasn't going to say that just for the heck of it if it wasn't true. And the crowd was also going crazy. I just felt like I got all this energy from them, and I really felt like they almost knew something that I didn't know, because they were just really, really pushing me along, and so I just gave it everything I had that last lap, but focused on my form at the same time. The worst thing that in my head at that point that could have happened would have been trying to go too hard but not focus on the barriers and fall. So I really focused on my form, and I've watched that last lap, and I think that that was one of my strengths of that lap was my technique, and I think that helped push me to be able to close fast, and then also just the crowd. I mean, it was amazing the amount of support I just got from the fans at Hayward. It was really neat.
And then what were you thinking and feeling as you came down that home stretch and crossed that line?
Coming down the home stretch, I knew it was going to be really close, so I was just trying to sprint as fast as I could, and secretly wishing the clock would slow down. And then in my head, I knew it was going to be close, and I was like, oh my gosh, what were the 10s? And I was like, no, just go through the line. And I think about 9:22, I realized that I was going to get it, and it was just such a great moment to not only come away with the victory, but also to get the record. It's been something in my head for a year now, and it was the perfect ending to this year. That's just been the best year I could have asked for.
Yeah. It looked like combined shock and just excitement on your face from photos and the video.
I just had no idea. I don't know. I really surprised myself that I was able to run that time.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I knew I had the ability to, but it's just, I think the thought of trying to run a solo 9:24 was a little scary.
Right, sure. And obviously, working with Coach Butler, you said that 4 years ago as a freshman that he told you after freshman year that you'd be an NCAA champion, and you said you thought he was crazy, but I have to believe that continuing to work with him over the past 4 or 5 years, and then the success you've had, that the confidence and belief that this could actually happen just grew after each race. Would you agree with that?
I definitely believe that. I mean, he's never given me a reason to not trust him, and he just knows me better than anyone, just like as an athlete. And so, yeah, I mean, I did think he was. I remember calling my mom after that conversation. I was like, Mom, Coach Butler thinks that I can be an All-American, and he even thinks I could potentially to win it all. And I was like, I don't know that that's going to happen, but I mean, it'd be so cool if I could be an All-American. And to hear that, like, I think was what really got me going. I mean, I had so many almost in kind of my athletic career in general up until then. I mean, I almost made nationals in gymnastics. I was like, I was one spot away. I almost was all-state in cross-country, collapsed at the 3-mile mark, and you know, my soccer team almost made state. We lost in the quarterfinal game. Like, there were so many times I got so close to achieving a goal and just came short. And, you know, the idea of being All-American, I think, was like, just, you know, like, totally topped all those almost. And it's like, I want to do this. I want to achieve at this level. And he didn't just say it, like, I think to make me feel good. He really put in the effort and the time and helped me to understand the sport, and just kept pushing me, but in the right direction and in the right way, and taking the right steps. So it's been great. Like, I'm lucky that I've had a coach like him for 5 years that I've been able to work with and develop with, and that's taken the time with me.
Well, what's it like being a part of such a talented team? Obviously, you're, you know, for the first time after 4 years, the last 9-10 months, you know, you practice every day with other All-Americans, and I got to believe that, you know, in practice every day, this last year's been a lot different and pushed you to these new heights.
It has. I mean, at UMKC, it was a great place for me to grow and develop as a runner, and the girls there are great, but, you know, at a point I did get to a different level, and unfortunately that did mean I was on my own a lot. So coming here at UNM, I've had the opportunity to have training partners, and, like, all fall, I was pushed. I mean, I was not always the best one out there, but it was okay because I knew we were all getting better together, and it's just nice being able to work off strengths. I mean, I think all of us here at UNM, we have different strengths. I mean, Alice and Rona are just aerobic engines. They can go forever. And I'm a little bit more of a mix. And then, you know, we had Callie and Sophie and Emily, great 1,500-meter runners with the speed and everything. And just, it's not hard to make those decisions, those sacrifices, you know, like, oh, we're going to go to bed at 9 tonight or 10, you know, but we're all doing it. We're all doing it together, and we're all supporting each other. We all have these same goals.
Right.
And, you know, watching Alice in that 10K on Thursday, like, gave me a lot of confidence. And, you know, I was very just inspired by what she did. It took a lot of guts for her to go out there and lead the majority of that race. And, you know, when you see your teammates doing great things, it makes you want to do great things too. And it's been a really, really positive and really fun experience, and just the best ending to my time as a collegiate athlete I could ask for.
Right. So what's on the top? What are you most excited and proud of? Is it the national title and the steeple record, or is it the team title and the 4th place finish at Nationals Cross?
I think the team title is still probably the highlight. And that's just, I'll have plenty of opportunities to run more individual steeples, but to win with those girls, it'll never be topped. Just, you know, I was really nervous coming in this year, being on a high-caliber team, and with girls that, you know, were very established. They had a very established team, and they were so welcoming and just made me one of their own right away. And there was just such a bond, and I think we ran so well, not just because it was a talented group, but because it was a group running for each other. So I'm just so proud of that team, and just so happy I was able to be a member of it.
Right.
Of it.
Right.
Of it.
Right.
Of it.
Right.
Of it.
Right.